I'm waiting for the next Wheel of Time episode 5, to drop. Pretty excited. So I went into this show pretty blind, and I hadn't been following anything on it because I just didn't, I caught wind of some of the complaints and stuff ahead of time, casting wise and all that. And I made a decision to just shut all that down because I just wanted to watch it and see what I thought. So I did not realize that each episode has a budget of $10 million, and I guess Amazon gave them an $80 million budget for the season. So there are 8 episodes, I get, apparently. So that means we're halfway through before this 5th episode drops. That explains a lot of the condensing and a lot of the acceleration of motivations and certain characters being forced to develop in a more intense fashion. I don't know that it necessarily means that all of those choices were the best possible choices that could have been made, but it does give a reason beyond some terrible reason like the people making it don't care about the books or something like that, which is clearly not the case, thank goodness. That helps me deal with all the changes a little bit. I do wish they had, as many people are saying, a budget for a couple more episodes just to be able to spread it out a little better, because it looks like they're probably dropping some locations that I'd rather they didn't drop from the books. I did just listen through The Eye of the World, and I'm up to like chapter 20 in The Great Hunt now on audiobook to refresh. So I debated doing that because without that stuff in my head, it could, in theory, make it easier to like the show for what it is and not be hoping for certain things. But I was already catching things that were a little bit disappointing anyway. So I figured, let me go whole hog, and that way I can really see the differences a little bit more clearly and immediately, and it actually makes it a little bit more interesting. But I'm very excited for this next episode. And one thing that I like about this experience so far is I don't really know how they're gonna tell the story. They seem like they're sticking to the big pieces of it for the most part. But I'm going in I know what could be coming. I have theories about exactly what they're gonna do based on the information that's out there, but I don't really know. And it's not following the books directly enough that actually keeps it more interesting than it would otherwise be, maybe. I mean, it depends. I would take a straight adaptation. I realize there are reasons not to, but I would completely enjoy that personally. So you would have to change certain things, definitely. But still, I want to go to Camelin. I want Elias in there. I want things like that. Assuming they don't. They may still do, I don't know. We'll see exactly what happens. So anyway, episode 5. I'm going to watch it in about an hour, and I'm going to be right back. See you in a moment. It feels like a heavy, heavy focus on the Warder Aes Sedai bond stuff. And I think I understand why, but it makes me feel like certain things are coming much sooner than otherwise. And I'm not far enough into the books to remember where this stuff happens. We get a time skip, a month. I think it was 1 month, right? And that's basically the travel time required to get to Tar Valon. There's a lot skipped there. I guess we're just supposed to believe that, okay, they went... There's all that intensity, and then for a month, there's not really much of anything of note in the traveling. And okay. Okay. I can deal with that. I get why they're doing it, but okay, right? Skipping Camelin and basically setting up the same setup around Tar Valon and going that way. And then... I realize we've got 3 more episodes. I'm enjoying it, and I liked the episode. It didn't hit me as good as episode 4, And this is, another instance of having to adjust to the changes. The way I'm choosing to look at this is in canon, actually, there's a concept. And there's a book in the world of the Wheel of Time, I think called Mirrors of the Wheel, that explains that every possible world every possible choice, every possible weave that could be is, right? So this could be, in that sense, the book weaving and turning of the wheel and the show's turning of the wheel could coexist and not be contradictory just because of the nature of that. So yeah, struggling a little. I was expecting this. I was expecting everyone to basically converge on Tarvalon. I wasn't expecting the white cloaks to come back into play, though that makes perfect sense, because that is more or less what happens with Perrin and Egwene in the books, just outside Camelin instead of Tarvalon. And then the inn thing is the same. I'm assuming they've transplanted the innkeeper. Maybe they shot his scenes and decided to cut him because he wasn't in the episode as far as I recall. But I don't know that for sure. They did leave in a line that this guy was a friend of Tom Maryland's, which suggests that they haven't cut him. I'm not sure how I feel about him being in Tarvalon, but so those are the hard parts for me. Now, good stuff. Loyal, awesome. The actor playing him is doing a pretty good job, I'd say. I'm so used to the Loyal in the audiobooks, the voice there, that it's a little hard to. I mean, it's not totally different, but anyway, it works. It's a good Loyal. He's good. Perrin's eyes. I was wondering if they would even do the eyes or not, but that was cool. I like how this version of them escaping from the White Cloaks is sort of them on their own doing it. I like how they did this. The other thing is Tarvalon is fine. The White Tower itself, when I look at it, and I thought this when I saw it in the trailer, it's fine, but it's just a little bit stocky or something. I always envisioned it as a little bit skinnier and a little bit taller. Some of the concept art that's actually on the episode, and it looks more like what was in my head on that concept art than it does in the show, and it's just a subtle little difference. I think I always imagined an even skinnier, taller tower in my head while reading, and then I think at some point later I pretty much realized that that's not particularly realistic at all. but who cares about realism when you're watching fantasy sometimes? The geography of the area is right, but the tower itself, it's not as pronounced as I imagined it to be. I was a little dumbfounded at and I like this stuff. I'm just surprised, we only have got 8 episodes, and now almost half of this episode is basically devoted to the how a warder deals with a bond being broken. And once again, I understand why they're doing it. I was hoping to get a little further along in the main story here, but I suppose this next episode is going to have to really accelerate that. Yeah, the pacing is a little bit, not totally, it's just, I don't know, it's a little off kilter. Not quite as into this episode. It's still good. I still am dying to watch more. But after the last episode, it was a little bit of a down. But I imagine I will probably watch some other reactions and see some other comments, and it'll probably be able to recontextualize things in all kinds of directions for me. So, but that's my immediate reaction. I enjoyed it. I was hoping for a little bit more, I was expecting a little bit more of a faster pace here than we had, especially considering there's only 3 more episodes now. But I do appreciate like leaning into certain, I do like that choice. It is like we don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to go ahead and choose to like lay back anyway in certain spots. I like that about it. So hopefully, by the end it will all sort of work. So far, the choices they've made where they've done this, and it has paid, these things have paid off. So I'm expecting this to pay off, which is why I'm expecting some stuff to happen sooner than otherwise thought. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, until the next episode.